Greetings, Exile. It's me again, the guy who make off-meta trash builds that nobody asked for. This time, I'm bringing you another abomination of a build, that too on a skill that no one even dares to touch. Well, except for this other brave fool, but by judging his inventory, I think he's just experimenting or memeing. Not like my build is any better though. This is a skill I've experimented with in the past, and that experiment was quite successful. But that was during the Mercenary League, when the power creep was very strong. So, I don't think that it really counts as a proper build when everything is carried by borrowed power. This time, I want to do it right, and push it to the limits I was not able to reach before. In this video, I will cover the skill mechanics, my reason for choosing champion, and my plans for min-max version of this build. Double Strike of Impaling is a transfigured version of Double Strike. It has much lower attack damage scaling, and instead of providing chance to bleed, it provides chance to impale. But the most interesting part of the skill is the benefit it gets from its quality, which grants increased impale effect. At 20% quality, it was 40% increased impale effect. And if we add Ashes of the Stars on top of this, we can push it to around 100% increased impale effect just from the gem alone. And if you know how the impale effect works, this essentially doubles the damage dealt per impale. We can scale this effect further from the skill tree, support gems, and gear. Now, unlike the original skill, Double Strike of Impaling does not have its own wall version, but it can still be corrupted to gain access to the wall version of regular Double Strike, which allows us to summon the Wall Street Boys. These boys deal much less damage but make up for it with sheer numbers, as we are able to summon 4 of them at a time. The skill can normally store a maximum of 2 uses, with each use summoning 2 boys. This storage capacity can be increased by allocating Priest of Kopek from Trial Master, allowing us to summon up to 6 boys at once, and now they deal even more damage. But we are not satisfied with just 6 boys, we want even more. And for that, we use a Saviour unique sword, which grants us level 20 reflection skill. This skill allows to summon 2 additional boys on critical strike. These are different from our Wall Street boys. They are purple and use the exact same skill that crits, but deal 50% less damage. And in this case, they will use Double Strike of Impaling, which is much more effective than Wall Double Strike. Both Wall Street boys and purple boys have 100% chance to impale. They're not afraid of any bitches and will gang up on them to show who's the real boss. Who needs minions when we have the boys? Now, I think we're done enough boying around. So let's move on to my reason for choosing champion. The main reason I choose champion is the Master of Metal Knot, which grants additional impale and provides flat physical damage based on number of impales on the enemy. This works extremely well with Paradoxica, as the weapon inherently grants double damage. So all that added flat physical damage scales it very effectively. On top of that, Fortitude is a great defensive layer, as it provides permanent fortification stacks which help mitigate both attack and spell hits. Lastly, Unstoppable Hero gives us more armor and evasion while also providing attack speed based on our fortification stacks. And most importantly, I've already made this version on a Slayer, so I did not want to repeat the exact same build yet again. Now, I can't cover every single detail in this short video, so for that I always make sure to create a detailed Mobalytics leveling guide to help you level and transition smoothly. So do check it out, you can find the link to it in the description. Now before we wrap up, let's talk about my plans for the min-max version of this build. Currently, the damage is at pretty acceptable level, but the main issue is the defenses, which are all over the place. We have some blocks, some fortification stacks, some endurance charges along with a mix of armor and evasion. Right now the build feels like a jack of all trades but a master of none. So that's the main thing I want to fix. For this, I have 2 possible routes. Either I can go for charge stacking or I can double down on impale scaling. If I go with the charge stacking route, I will need Flesh and Flame jewels to allocate Masterful Form from Slayer, along with replicas Farul's Fur and probably even the Acceleration Shrine belt. But if I take the impale scaling route, I will use the Fallborn Skin of the Lords, as it provides 30% quality to all equipped gems. This will boost Wall Double Strike with double damage and Double Strike of Impaling with even more impale effect. We will also require Mage Blood for this route, as the build will be resistance starved and we will need to scale armor evasion through Flask. Do let me know which route you guys think is the most viable. But no matter which route I choose, the plan is to push our fortification stacks to at least 40. For that I will need the Celestial Brace, unique gauntlets and a Legion jewel. I will also be upgrading rest of the gear and making sure that the build reaches 100% spell suppression. And lastly, I plan to replace Paradoxica with a much better rare sword. Doing all of this will take me a few days. So in the meantime, if you're curious about how the build is progressing, come watch me live on Twitch or join our Discord server. If you like these type of off-meta trash builds, make sure to complete all the formalities by liking, subscribing and ringing that notification bell. As always, thanks for watching, Exile.